I feel hold lot of significance since I have come over students who holds findings in machine learning or deep learning with wonderful projects. One query you pose to them as why you depended on machine learning calculations to illuminate this. Why not deep learning or data mining? I have never got legitimate reply. Since I see machine learning as not an innovation but an evolution, request me to create unmistakable contrast between some of the common terminologies that is used today. So, the most confusing terminologies are data mining, deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence. How are they different and how each terminology contribute among each other? The confusion between the phrasings exists since of the commonality in terms of the input considered. So what is joining these four technologies? All of these technologies aim to get valuable insights from data. However, the type of insight from each methodology is different. So that if we are able to understand what is the type of insight each methodology is trying to look in, then probably we are good to go with the distinction between the four terminologies. So before I actually run through the slides, I just wanted to give you an example. Let's understand this entire distinction between these four terminologies with an example. Expect that there's a basic supply store. So I mean to say that there is a grocery store with three members: owner, manager, and a worker. Suppose, assume that the proprietor or the manager puts up a query to the worker. Last year in April month, which item was bought by numerous individuals and why? The worker don't have any information appropriately about how to answer this question. So he take up all the last year information and try to induce answer for the question. Which item is a straight question that can be answered with a number? But the second question, to come up with a satisfiable reply, he decides to take control on the data, meaning he is trying to extract some new information from the data by manipulating. He performs certain manipulations on the data so to get an appropriate reply. So what is data mining, if you would ask me? Manipulate and come up with satisfiable figures is what is data mining is all about. So the data mining process is something like this. You extract, manipulate, find certain correlations to come up with an answer that is satisfiable. So this example what I gave you would have explained you clearly what is data mining. Now let's move on to machine learning. Now the same question is forwarded to manager. He might promptly come up with a reply like, let's go for frozen yogurt since April is summer. With some data or information he already have, gives him an intellect reply as frozen yogurt. So at whatever point such question, he gives same reply. Why? Because he has certain information in his mind that for this sort of questions, always the answer is going to be this one, which means his brain is being trained on this particular data, and whenever he come across this particular set of data, he is going to give out the same reply. So this is a typical example of machine learning. So machine learning means you will use a data set, apply certain algorithms, and then you will try to find answer to certain question. So you will not actually do explicit programming to manipulate the data, and this possesses better decision capability. So a manager is a machine learning model. Now, I wanted to differentiate this machine learning and deep learning now. So now you just imagine that owner is asking another question to the manager. Should we purchase more umbrellas this April month? It's the question from the owner to the manager. The manager, with his accessible information, not able to require any choice in this respect. This is the limitation of machine learning, and that will be handled by owner, who is basically a deep learning model. Owner with the same data as manager, but he takes some instantaneous decision to promote sales. So deep learning model holds up at this point. Another suitable example to make this point very clear is portrayed here. Say, for example, when you have a data set which is having certain instances as dark, and when you give an input as dark, the output is going to be dark in a machine learning model. But when you consider a deep learning model, you give the input as no light. Still, the deep learning model will understand that no light means dark. So that's the clear cut distinction between your machine learning and your deep learning. Machine learning can actually learn what is existing. Deep learning can learn something extra from what is existing. So that's the difference between your deep learning and your machine learning. I hope that I made a clear distinction between data mining, machine learning, and deep learning. However, if you see the process of deep learning and machine learning, absolutely there is no deviation. Both of them holds the same process. Coming to artificial intelligence, finally, it is basically an attempt to create human-like person who is activated using deep or machine learning algorithms and act according to the instructions. So this could be viewed like this. Machine learning and deep learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Deep learning is again a subset of machine learning. So this holds the distinction between these four terminologies. So that comes the end of this particular video. I have posted two quiz questions. So take up the quiz to make sure that the distinction of what I have mentioned is being clearly understood by you. Thank you.